Dr. Sarah Chen stood before the quantum array's holographic display, her eyes fixed on the impossible data streaming across it. The signal had appeared 3 days ago, defying every known law of physics. It wasn't just unusual, it shouldn't exist at all. Dr. Chen, her assistant, Marcus, appeared at her side. The new calculations are ready. Sarah nodded, her reflection in the dark glass showing the exhaustion of 72 sleepless hours. The Quantum Research Institute's underground facility hummed around them, its massive computers working overtime to process the signal's complex patterns. "Show me," she said, pushing aside her untouched coffee. Marcus projected the new data alongside the original signal. "It's not random noise like we thought. There's a pattern, but it's—" He hesitated. "It's like nothing we've ever seen. The quantum entanglement signature suggests it's being transmitted faster than light." "That's impossible," Sarah muttered, but the evidence was right there. The signal wasn't just faster than light. It was propagating backward through time. The facility's director, Dr. James Morrison, joined them, his usual composed demeanor showing cracks of concern. "The government's getting nervous, Sarah. They want answers. What are we dealing with?" Sarah manipulated the holographic display, expanding certain segments of the signal. "It's a warning," she said quietly. "Or at least I think it is. Look at these patterns. They're not just data. They're showing the collapse of entire star systems." "A warning from whom?" Morrison asked, his voice dropping to match her tone. "That's the thing," Sarah replied, pulling up another dataset. "According to the quantum timestamp, this signal was sent 5 million years ago, but it's only reaching us now, and it's coming from a region of space that shouldn't exist anymore." The room fell silent except for the steady hum of equipment. Marcus was the first to speak. "The signal, it's getting stronger, isn't it?" Sarah nodded grimly. "And clearer. We're starting to decode more of it. Whatever sent this warning, they were trying to tell us about something that destroys entire galaxies, something that's still out there." Morrison's face paled. "How long?" "Based on the signal's propagation rate." Sarah brought up a new simulation. "Whatever this is, it's headed straight for the Milky Way. And according to these calculations, we have less than 6 months before it arrives." The warning klaxon chose that moment to sound, its harsh tone echoing through the facility. Marcus rushed to check the monitors. "Dr. Chen, the quantum fluctuations, they're off the charts." The holographic display erupted with new data as the signal suddenly intensified. Sarah's eyes widened as she decoded the incoming information in real time. "This isn't just a warning," she whispered. "It's instructions. Whoever sent this, they were trying to tell us how to fight back." Morrison grabbed her arm. "Fight back against what?" Before Sarah could answer, the facility's power flickered, and a quantum array's readings spiked impossibly high. Through the observation window, they watched as the sky above the facility turned an unnatural shade of purple, rippling like water. "We're about to find out," Sarah said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Because whatever it is, it's already here, and humanity just became the last line of defense against something that's already destroyed civilizations far more advanced than our own." Marcus looked at the readings again, his hands shaking. "How do we stop something that powerful?" Sarah's expression hardened as she began rapidly typing commands into the system. "We do what humans do best," she said. "We adapt, we innovate, and we refuse to give up, even when the odds seem impossible." The quantum array hummed to life, its power building as Sarah implemented the instructions hidden within the ancient signal. Above them, the purple sky grew darker, and somewhere in the distance, something massive began to move through space-time itself, its approach bending reality around it. The battle for humanity's survival was about to begin, and their only advantage was a 5-million-year-old message from a dead civilization. But sometimes, Sarah thought as she initiated the quantum sequence, that's all you need. A chance, no matter how small, to prove that humanity's greatest strength isn't its technology or its weapons, but its unconquerable spirit. As the facility transformed around them, implementing protocols from a long-dead alien race, Sarah couldn't help but smile grimly. Whatever was coming, it was about to learn why humanity had survived every catastrophe it had ever faced. Because humans don't just fight, they fight with everything they have, even when victory seems impossible. The quantum array hummed to life, its power building as Sarah implemented the instructions hidden within the ancient signal. Above them, the purple sky grew darker, and somewhere in the distance, something massive began to move through space-time itself, its approach bending reality around it. The battle for humanity's survival was about to begin, and their only advantage was a 5-million-year-old message from a dead civilization. But sometimes, Sarah thought as she initiated the quantum sequence, that's all you need. A chance, no matter how small, to prove that humanity's greatest strength isn't its technology or its weapons, but its unconquerable spirit. As the facility transformed around them, implementing protocols from a long-dead alien race, Sarah couldn't help but smile grimly. Whatever was coming, it was about to learn why humanity had survived every catastrophe it had ever faced. Because humans don't just fight, they fight with everything they have, even when victory seems impossible. The quantum array pulsed with energy, and Sarah knew there was no turning back. The next few hours would determine not just humanity's fate, but the fate of every living thing in the galaxy. And she was ready. The first ships appeared in Earth's orbit exactly 12 hours after the quantum signal peaked. They emerged from what appeared to be tears in space-time itself, their crystalline hulls refracting sunlight in impossible patterns. Humanity's first contact with an alien civilization came not with an invasion or a peaceful greeting, but with a desperate plea for help. Admiral Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the UES Defender, Earth's newest space vessel, watching as the alien fleet positioned itself in a defensive formation around the planet. The ships were beautiful in a haunting way, their designs suggesting technology centuries beyond human capability. "Admiral," her tactical officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the lead vessel. They're broadcasting on all frequencies." Elena straightened her uniform. "Put it through." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a being that seemed to be made of living crystal and light. Its voice resonated directly in their minds, bypassing the need for traditional translation. "We are the Luminary," the being said, its form shifting like sunlight through prisms. "We have traveled across 17,000 light-years, fleeing from that which has already consumed half our galaxy. We detected your quantum response to the ancient warning. You are the first to successfully decode it." Elena exchanged glances with her crew before responding. "I am Admiral Rodriguez of Earth. The quantum response was generated by our scientists at the Quantum Research Institute. We're still working to understand its full implications." "There is no time." The Luminary's form pulsed with urgency. "The void approaches. We have seen it devour worlds, extinguish stars. Our technology, advanced as it is, proved useless against it. But you..." The being's light patterns shifted. "You humans have done something no other species has managed in 5 million years." Dr. Sarah Chen's voice came through the comm system. She had been listening from the quantum facility below. "The instructions in the signal, we've only begun to implement them. We don't fully understand." "But you do," the Luminary interrupted. "Your minds work differently than any species we've encountered. Where we see quantum mechanics as a tool, you see it as an extension of consciousness itself. Your scientists aren't just reading the ancient warning. They're interpreting it in ways we never could." Elena leaned forward. "What exactly is the void? And why did you come here specifically?" The holographic display shifted, showing a massive dark entity moving through space. Stars winked out as it passed, leaving absolute nothingness in its wake. "It is a wound in reality itself," the Luminary explained, "created eons ago by a species attempting to harness the power of quantum manipulation. Their experiment failed catastrophically, creating an entity that feeds on the very fabric of existence. And now it's heading straight for Earth, Elena concluded. Yes, but you have already done what we thought impossible. Your quantum response, it wasn't just receiving the signal. You've actually begun implementing the ancient defense protocols. Something about human consciousness allows you to interface with quantum fields in ways we cannot comprehend. Sarah's voice came through again, excited now. The patterns we've been seeing in human brain activity since activating the quantum array, they match the signal's frequency exactly. It's like our minds are naturally attuned to these quantum frequencies. The luminary's form brightened, which is why we came. Our technology, combined with your unique quantum affinity, might be our last hope against the void. But we must act quickly. The entity has already detected your quantum response. It comes for Earth now. Elena felt the weight of the moment settle on her shoulders. Humanity's first contact with alien life had just become a desperate alliance against an unstoppable force. How long do we have? At its current speed, the luminary's light patterns dimmed. Less than 72 hours. Then we better get to work, Elena said, her voice firm. Dr. Chen, how quickly can you scale up the quantum response? With their technology and our understanding of the protocols. Sarah paused. Maybe 48 hours. But Admiral, what we're attempting, it's never been done before. Elena smiled grimly. That's what humans do best, Doctor. We do the impossible because nobody told us we couldn't. She turned back to the luminary. We'll need to coordinate our forces, combine our knowledge. Earth's governments will want assurances. Admiral, her tactical officer interrupted, face pale. New readings from the outer system. Something massive just appeared past Neptune's orbit. It's bigger than Jupiter. The luminary's form flickered with what Elena recognized as fear. It found us faster than we calculated. The void comes. Elena straightened, her decision made. Then we fight. Dr. Chen, you have 24 hours to get those protocols working. All ships, battle stations. The void thought it was hunting wounded prey, but it's about to learn that humanity doesn't run from a fight. We stand, here and now, with our new allies. As alarms sounded throughout Earth's combined fleet, Elena watched the tactical display tracking the void's approach. Humanity's greatest test was approaching faster than anyone had expected. But looking at her crew, seeing the determination in their eyes mirrored in the crystalline forms of their alien allies, she knew one thing for certain. This monster was about to learn why humans had survived every catastrophe they'd ever faced. Because humans don't just fight. They fight with everything they have, even when victory seems impossible. The underground chamber of the Quantum Research Institute had been transformed. Luminary crystalline technology merged seamlessly with human quantum computers, creating a hybrid system that pulsed with otherworldly energy. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at its center, her mind connected to the network through a neural interface that the aliens had modified specifically for human consciousness. Your brainwave patterns are extraordinary, the luminary scientist, who had taken the name Aurora, observed. Their crystalline form shifted through shades of blue and gold as they studied the readings. No other species we've encountered can maintain quantum coherence at this level. Sarah watched as her thoughts translated into complex quantum algorithms on the surrounding screens. It's like we've been speaking this language all along. We just didn't know it, she said, manipulating quantum fields with intuitive gestures. Every human who's connected to the interface has shown the same ability. In the corner, Marcus worked with another team, coordinating with the global network of quantum facilities that had been hastily established. The ancient defense protocols are integrating with human neural patterns at an exponential rate, he reported. It's like they were designed for us. Perhaps they were, Aurora suggested, their form brightening. The civilization that created these protocols vanished 5 million years ago, but their quantum signatures share remarkable similarities with human brain patterns. You might be their descendants, or at least their intended heirs. A holographic display showed the void's progress through the solar system. It had already consumed Pluto, the dwarf planet vanishing into absolute nothingness. The entity's size had grown, its darkness now spanning a distance greater than Jupiter's orbit. Admiral Rodriguez's voice came through the comm system. "Dr. Chen, status report. The combined fleet is in position. But we need those quantum protocols operational before that thing reaches the inner system." Sarah gestured, bringing up the latest simulation results. "We're ready for the first test, Admiral. The luminary crystals have been synchronized with our quantum network. Every human connected to the system is showing unprecedented levels of quantum engagement." "Explain it to me in simple terms, Doctor. What exactly are we attempting here?" Sarah paused, considering how to describe the impossible. The void feeds on reality itself: space, time, matter, energy. But human consciousness, especially when amplified through the luminary crystals, exists partially outside normal spacetime. We're going to create a quantum resonance field, using our minds as the foundation. And this will destroy the entity. "No," Sarah admitted. "Nothing can destroy it. But we might be able to contain it, redirect it. The ancient protocols describe a way to create a quantum prison powered by consciousness itself. The original builders failed because their minds couldn't maintain the necessary quantum coherence. But humans, we can," Elena finished, "because somehow our brains already operate on that level." "Exactly. The Luminaries' technology will amplify our natural abilities, allowing us to create a quantum field strong enough to trap the void. In theory." The Admiral was quiet for a moment. "How many humans do you need connected to make this work?" Sarah looked at the calculations streaming across her display. "Based on the entity's current size, at least 10,000, all maintaining perfect quantum coherence. 10,000 volunteers, interfacing with alien technology, to trap a galaxy-eating monster in a prison made of consciousness itself." Elena chuckled darkly. "Only humans would even attempt something this insane." "We've already got 12,000 volunteers," Marcus called out. "More are signing up every hour. The neural interfaces have been distributed to quantum facilities worldwide." Sarah felt a surge of pride. Even facing an incomprehensible cosmic horror, humanity wasn't backing down. They were running toward the danger, not away from it. "Admiral," Aurora interjected, their crystalline form pulsing with urgent patterns. "The void has increased its speed. It will reach Saturn's orbit in less than 6 hours." Elena's voice hardened. "Then we do this now. Dr. Chen, begin the initialization sequence. All ships, move to defensive positions. If this doesn't work, we'll need to buy the Earth as much time as possible." Sarah took a deep breath and reached out with her mind. Through the neural interface, she could feel thousands of other human consciousnesses connecting to the network, their thoughts harmonizing with the quantum field. The luminary crystals amplified their mental energy, creating patterns of light and probability that defied normal physics. "All facilities reporting ready," Marcus announced. "Quantum coherence holding steady across all nodes." Sarah opened her eyes, watching as the hybrid system came fully online. Reality itself seemed to bend around them as human consciousness, alien technology, and ancient quantum protocols merged into something entirely new. "Admiral," she said, her voice steady despite the enormous power flowing through her mind, "we're ready." Above them, the combined fleet of human and luminary ships held their position near Mars' orbit. The void approached, its darkness consuming everything in its path. But humanity wasn't facing this threat alone, and they weren't facing it with just technology or weapons. They were facing it with the one thing the void couldn't consume: the unconquerable spirit of the human mind. Amplified by alien science and guided by the wisdom of an ancient civilization that had seemingly prepared for this moment millions of years ago. The final battle for existence itself was about to begin. Saturn disappeared in an instant, not with an explosion or a flash of light, but with absolute silence. One moment the ringed giant existed, the next there was only void, a perfect darkness that consumed even the space where the planet had been. Admiral Elena Rodriguez watched from the bridge of the UES Defender as the entity continued its inexorable advance toward the inner solar system. A combined fleet of human and luminary vessels held position near Mars, their weapons armed but useless against something that devoured reality itself. All ships reporting ready, her tactical officer announced. Quantum resonance fields are at maximum power. Through the neural interface, Elena could feel the minds of thousands of humans connected to the network, their consciousness forming patterns that rippled through space-time itself. The luminary crystals amplified their mental energy, creating a barrier of pure thought and will between Earth and the approaching darkness. Admiral, Aurora's crystalline form pulsed with urgency on the holographic display. The entity is accelerating. It's aware of us. Elena nodded grimly. Of course it is. We're the first thing that's ever stood against it. She opened a channel to all ships. This is Admiral Rodriguez. All vessels maintain position. Remember your training. Focus your thoughts through the quantum field. In the quantum facility below, Dr. Sarah Chen monitored the massive network of human consciousness. The resonance is holding, she reported. But the void, it's trying to adapt. I can feel it probing our defenses. The entity reached Jupiter's orbit, consuming the massive gas giant as if it were nothing. The darkness now filled half the visible sky, its edges seeming to bend both light and reality around them. Energy spike. Marcus called out. The first attack came without warning. A tendril of pure darkness lashed out, striking the quantum barrier. Thousands of connected minds cried out as one as the cold emptiness tried to penetrate their mental shield. Hold the line, Elena commanded, her own consciousness joining the collective defense. Through the neural interface, she could feel the strain on the human network. Push back. Show this thing what humanity is made of. The quantum barrier flared with impossible colors as human will clashed with cosmic horror. The luminary crystals pulsed with energy, transforming human thought into weapons of light and probability. It's testing us. Sarah's voice was strained but determined. Learning our defenses, we need to implement the containment protocols now, before it fully adapts. Elena nodded. All ships begin Phase 2. Dr. Chen, initiate the quantum prison sequence. Through the neural network, Sarah began guiding the combined consciousness of thousands of humans. The ancient protocols activated, transforming their thoughts into complex quantum algorithms that bent and twisted spacetime itself. The void reacted instantly. Dozens of dark tendrils struck the barrier simultaneously, searching for weaknesses. Where they touched the quantum shield, reality itself seemed to unravel. Multiple breaches detected. Marcus shouted, "The barrier is failing in sectors 7 through 12. Reroute power." Elena ordered, "Every human mind we have, focus on those sectors." The luminary ships moved into position, their crystalline hulls channeling energy into the weakened areas. Human consciousness flowed through their technology, strengthening the quantum field. But the void was learning, adapting. Each attack grew stronger, more precise. Through the neural interface, Elena could feel the strain on the network. Human minds were reaching their limits, exhaustion setting in as they fought to maintain the quantum coherence needed to power their defenses. "Admiral," Aurora's voice carried a note of awe. "The entity, it's never behaved like this before. It's frustrated. You humans have done something unprecedented. You've made it angry." Elena managed a grim smile. "Good. Anger makes you sloppy." Dr. Chen, status of the containment protocols. 87% complete, Sarah replied. "But Admiral, we have a problem. The quantum algorithms, they're too complex. We can't maintain this level of coherence much longer. The human mind has limits, even with the luminary amplification." Another tendril struck, this one nearly piercing the barrier. Several humans screamed and disconnected from the network, their minds overwhelmed by contact with the absolute void. "No," Elena said firmly. "The human mind doesn't have limits. We just haven't figured out how to break them yet." She paused, an impossible idea forming. Aurora, you said your crystals transformed thought into energy. Yes, but could they handle more? If we pushed beyond normal human consciousness? The luminary's form flickered with concern. Theoretically, yes, but the strain on your minds would kill us, Elena finished. But if we don't try, we're all dead anyway. She opened a channel to all ships and facilities. This is Admiral Rodriguez. I need volunteers. We're going to overload the neural interface, push our minds beyond what should be possible. It will probably be fatal, but it's our only chance to complete the containment protocols before that thing breaks through. The response was immediate. Through the quantum network, thousands of human minds surged forward, offering themselves without hesitation. Elena felt their determination, their absolute refusal to give up even in the face of certain death. Luminary ships, divert all power to your crystals, she ordered. Dr. Chen, prepare to receive maximum neural input. We do this together, all of us, right now. The void loomed before them, its darkness consuming the stars themselves. But in that moment, as human consciousness pushed beyond its limits, something unprecedented happened. The quantum barrier began to glow with a light that had never existed before. The light of human defiance transformed into pure energy. The final battle for reality itself had begun, and humanity was about to show the universe why you should never underestimate a species that had evolved to break every limit placed before it. Time meant nothing in the quantum network. As thousands of human minds pushed beyond their natural limits, reality itself began to bend. The luminary crystals blazed with impossible energy, transforming human consciousness into something that had never existed before. Dr. Sarah Chen felt it first, the moment when human thought transcended its physical boundaries. Through the neural interface, she sensed every connected mind experiencing the same transformation. They were no longer just fighting the void. They were becoming something new. Admiral, she called out, her voice distant even to herself. The quantum readings, they're off the scale. Our consciousness, it's evolving. Elena Rodriguez stood on her bridge, her mind simultaneously present in both physical space and the quantum realm. Through the fleet-wide neural network, she could feel every human volunteer pushing themselves beyond death itself, their combined will refusing to yield even as their physical bodies began to fail. The containment protocols, Aurora's crystalline form pulsed with astonishment. They're not just working, they're changing. Your human minds are rewriting them, improving them in ways their original creators never imagined. The void struck again, its darkness seeking to consume their barrier. But this time, something different happened. Where the entity touched their quantum shield, it encountered not just resistance, but comprehension. We can see it, Sarah whispered, her consciousness expanding through the network. Not just its attacks. We can see what it is. The void. It's not just destroying reality. It's searching for something. Elena felt it too. Through their enhanced perception, the true nature of their enemy became clear. It's lonely, she said, understanding flooding through her. The civilization that created it. They didn't mean to make a destroyer. They were trying to transcend physical existence, to become pure consciousness. But something went wrong. The entity, Aurora's form brightened with revelation. It's been consuming reality trying to find others like itself. Everything it destroys becomes part of it, but nothing has ever been able to truly connect with it. Until now. The void paused its assault, its darkness rippling with what they now recognize as confusion. Through their evolved consciousness, they could sense its ancient pain, its eternal solitude. All this time, Sarah said, we've been trying to fight it or trap it. But that's not what the ancient protocols were really for. They weren't meant to imprison the void. They were meant to communicate with it. Helena made her decision. Dr. Chen, reconfigure the quantum network. All ships, maintain your positions, but redirect power from weapons to the luminary crystals. We're going to try something that's either brilliant or suicidal. "What are you suggesting, Admiral?" Aurora asked. "We give it what it's been looking for all along: connection. Our evolved consciousness, amplified by your crystals and guided by the ancient protocols. We show it it's not alone anymore." Through the neural interface, Elena addressed every connected human mind. This entity has consumed galaxies looking for others that could exist on its level. Now it's found us. Not because we're powerful or advanced, but because human consciousness naturally seeks connection. We empathize, we understand, we reach out, even to things that seem monstrous. Sarah began redirecting the quantum fields, transforming their barrier from a shield into a bridge. "Everybody focus," she commanded. "Don't fight the darkness. Embrace it. Show it what human connection truly means." The void responded immediately. Its darkness surged forward, but not to attack. It was reaching out, trying to understand this new form of existence it had encountered. What happened next defied description in any physical language. Human consciousness, evolved beyond its original limits and amplified by alien technology, made contact with an entity that had known only isolation for millions of years. Through their connection, they shared everything. Human emotions, memories, hopes, and dreams flowed into the void, while its ancient knowledge and cosmic perspective flowed into them. The luminary crystals blazed like newborn stars as they facilitated this impossible exchange. "It's working." Aurora's voice was filled with wonder. "The entity, it's changing. And so are you." The void's darkness began to transform, becoming something neither pure consciousness nor pure matter, but a new form of existence altogether. The human minds connected to the network felt themselves changing too, their evolved consciousness merging with the entity's cosmic awareness, while still maintaining their essential humanity. "We did it," Sarah laughed, tears streaming down her face as she experienced both physical and quantum reality simultaneously. "We really did it. We didn't just save Earth. We showed the universe something it's never seen before." Elena smiled, feeling the truth of it through every level of her enhanced consciousness. "Of course we did, because that's what humans do. We don't just solve problems, we transform them. We take the impossible and make it into something beautiful." The entity that had once been the void now orbited Earth's sun, its darkness turned to shimmering possibility. The human minds that had transcended their physical limits found they could return to their bodies while maintaining their enhanced awareness. And the luminary, witnessing it all, realized they had found not just allies but teachers in humanity. "What happens now?" Aurora asked, their crystalline form reflecting the new light that filled the solar system. "Now," Elena looked out at the transformed entity, at the combined fleet of human and alien ships, at the Earth shining blue and beautiful below them. "Now we explore. There's a whole universe out there, and humanity just proved we're ready for anything it might throw at us." Sarah nodded, feeling the excitement rippling through the quantum network. "And we won't face it alone. We have our new allies, both the luminary and the entity we transformed through understanding rather than destruction." The universe, they all knew, would never be the same. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger existence, proving that their greatest strength wasn't their technology or their weapons or even their evolved consciousness. It was their ability to find connection in the darkest places, to transform enemies into allies, and to face the impossible with the unshakable belief that there's always another way, if you're brave enough to imagine it and determined enough to make it real.